Alright, needless to say, had a late start this morning. But we had some errands to run, so it wasn't like we didn't get up early. We just had errands to run. So it's Tuesday, and we gotta move. We're moving everybody. Chickens, goats. I think the pigs are gonna stay there. They're just gonna get a bigger area. And obviously that flock over there is gonna stay. But everybody else is moving. We've been dealing with out animals all day. So what we're gonna do now is go put these pigs up because we have an out pig. Ugh. Animals everywhere. We just have a pig coming around the fence of the garden like, I'm gonna run this way. So, see if we can get this pig up. Doesn't look like that's gonna happen, so.
You sound so optimistic.
You making some feed?
Some pig soup.
Pig soup. What is that?
Grain and water. It even looks like it's bubbling. My bubbling brew.
Yeah. You ready to do these pigs?
Yes and no.
Alright, I'm gonna set you guys up and go fix this fence back here.
Loving on my pigs. So today has gone better. They're letting him eat in the same area as everybody else, so that's good at least. But he's a little bit bigger, so that helps for sure. So yeah, we're just hanging out in here with my pigs, loving on them. So we've got a whole family. So Crispy, Charlie, and Link are all brothers. That's their mother, and that's her sister, Wanda. So that's their aunt. So, and we castrated all three of these boys, so they will not be reproducing with their mother or their aunt. For size reference, you can see how much bigger Crispy has gotten than his brother. Charlie, be nice. Charlie. Be nice. Hey, be nice. He's a good boy.
Alright, so tonight, normally we have dinner with friends, but today, we are having a date night. But we're also having
A meeting. I almost said like a meeting of the sexes, but it's not like a battle of the sexes, but it's a meeting for us to go over a lot of different aspects of our life.
Yeah, so basically the main premise of this is to prep for 2021. So obviously a lot of things have changed this year. So we want to take that into consideration and also think about things that we might want to do. So the
And how to start planning for that.
Yep, and the homestead's gonna have to ebb and flow with that. So this will be fun. You ready? Mm-hmm. Did you get the laptop?
It's in the car.
Okay. All right. We will see you guys tonight, and we'll go over our meeting.
All right, guys. So tonight we had our 2020 recap meeting and looking ahead to 2021, setting some goals for the homestead. So we started, I know it's only November, so we still have this month and next month, but we went ahead and looked back at the year and said what our 2020 accomplishments were. We also said what our 2020 failures were. So let's start with accomplishments. We added rabbits, pigs, goats, turkeys. We also added more ducks and chickens. We created a larger YouTube following, so thank you so much for subscribing and watching our videos. We appreciate it. We also gained some traction on Instagram, and we added 1,800 square feet of garden space. We also harvested enough from that garden to store, which meant a lot to us. It's not just eating fresh, but also storing for later use. We also made our own compost for part of the year. We started our barn. We added a feed shed. We upgraded our camera. So that's what you are watching us on, is our Sony Alpha 6400. So our Sony Alpha 6400. We also paid off $25,000 in student loans this year. We both changed careers. We also cash flowed a few medical bills. We had a beautiful litter of puppies, and we made some new friends along the way. So if you are watching and you are one of our new friends from this year, thank you so much for being friends with us. We value your friendship a lot. Also, looking back on 2020, here are some of our failures. We had a failed brooder system that resulted in a total loss of about 100 birds. That started in February when we lost a bunch of chickens in a freak rainstorm. Could have been avoided. We could have made the system a little bit better. We lost 4 roosters this year to unknown reasons. We lost 6 rabbits to weather. We lost a brand new 3-day-old litter of rabbit kits to a snake. We lost over 63 birds to rats this year. We had a fowl pox takeover that we lost some birds to. We lost over 10 laying hens to different things. We lost 3 ducks to death. 4 of them flew away. Lots of garden loss. We had 4 waves of different pests in the garden. So this year we had bean beetles, a lot of bean beetles. We had squash bugs, June bugs, also known as stink bugs. And then we also had aphids. So if you guys didn't know, some of the ways that we tried to go against the pests rather than choose like neem oil or DE, we actually purchased and used some green lacewing eggs as well as some praying mantis eggs. So our pest issue probably could have been a lot worse if we had not gotten those. They did help a bit, but we are hoping to really remedy a lot of that this next year. We also had some fence fails. Our neighbor's tractor backed up into one of our Premier One fences, and we had a bonfire a little too close to a fence, and so it destroyed it. Our pigs got out several times. We had chickens get out, so just focusing on the fences next year and how we can be better. We had some failures with the dogs. We have a guy that rides by on his bike. Finn likes to go out and herd the bike, and the guy fell off his bike and filed a report. So that was fun. We also had some misbehavior in public that I want to work on this next year. We also had lack of creating spaces that stay. So one of the big things that we tried to do this year was create a space for everything. And one of our failures was that even though we created a space, we didn't always put things in that space we created for them. So something we need to work on. So
lots of failures, lots of accomplishments. At the beginning of this year, we made a goal video, and our 3 goals were providing for our community, 2 to 3 videos per week, and monetizing our homestead better. So we definitely provided for our community. We attended our local farmers market quite a bit. We took a lot of chickens, we took a lot of kale, a lot of greens, some squash, and did okay with that. We also were able to help provide a couple local families with meals on a regular basis. So we definitely provided for our community in that sense. As far as 2 to 3 videos per week, well, we tried to do that, and then we stopped for a little while, and now we are doing daily. So I think we met that goal. As far as monetizing our homestead, yes and no. Our breeding program definitely vamped up a little bit for us, but as far as going to other farmers markets and whatnot, it just did not happen. And that's okay. You know, the nice thing about those goals is we tried them all. And that was the goal, was to try to do all of that. But looking forward to next year, so we actually broke down our homestead into different categories. So we broke down all of the types of animals we have on the homestead. And then we also made a future animals goal list, and then a garden goal list, and social platforms, and where we want to go in the next year with everything. So looking forward, one of the big things that we want to focus on next year for all of our animals is actually having a health protocol in place. So in one of our previous videos, we talked about how we had a hard conversation about what animals go to the vet and which ones do not. And so all of our homestead animals will not ever be going to the vet. So in terms of health protocol, we want to look at other natural ways to help heal and cure and promote overall wellness in our animals, the absolute natural way. So, you know, creating a regimen for apple cider vinegar being added to their water, or so some animals are able to have a garlic tincture, which acts as a natural antibiotic. So that is something that we would be able to give like our chickens and turkeys. Not pigs. Pigs are a little sensitive on garlic, but our other animals would be able to benefit from that greatly, especially with some of the diseases and some of the illnesses that we have had to deal with this last year. One of the big focuses of next year is to have our homestead be food for us first, and then have it be food for others. Or have it be an income for us. So our focus is going to be on, you know, what can we do better in terms of our animals and in terms of providing food. And so one of the things we are going to do is not so many batches of chickens next year. So we will probably only do 2 batches of about 20 birds. And then we will probably only do 4 turkeys, maybe 5 to 10 turkeys next year. For rabbits, only 4 litters total, 1 from each female in the spring, 1 from each female in the fall. And then for pigs, we probably will not have any litters next year. Goats, you know, that is something that we are hoping to have a baby or 2 born at the end of January. But we will see once we get to that point if we want to go ahead and breed our other female that we have, so that we can have a continual flow of milk. So something to talk about for us later on. For the ducks, you know, not too much going on with them. We're working on hatching some meat ducks. We actually have some eggs in an incubator that those ducklings will grow up to be a good meat source for us. We've got lots of plans with the garden. That's actually going to be a different meeting for us, is to sit down and talk about our plan for the garden and better planning for the garden. So the plan in terms of a layout and how we want to have everything. We would like to build some more boxes and have them away from the house, as well as doing more companion planting. That's something that Josh actually got a book for his birthday, all about companion planting and the purpose of it and why it helps your harvest be better. So that's something we wanted to do. We also want to have an herb and tea garden, as well as a flower garden and a pumpkin patch next year. Something that I put in the notes is I would love to have a place to sit in my garden. And this is really inspired by Roots and Refuge and how Jess has multiple places in her garden where she can sit and just observe the beauty. And I would love to have that in our garden. As little as our garden is compared to hers, I would love to have a spot where I can just sit and watch all the butterflies and just listen to the birds and the crickets and everything. That would just be relaxing for me. We did talk about a list of some larger purchases that we will probably make this year. Some of those included another freezer, another fence set for our pigs. We also talked about new tires for both of our vehicles, finishing the barn and adding a gutter and rain barrel system, restoring the pump house, and then a few other things that just were important to us. So it's always good to sit down and go over some goals and hash things out. So our meeting actually was about 3.5 hours long tonight. And it was really good. We sat down over a meal. We got a gift card to Cracker Barrel. And so it was kind of a date night, and then allowed us to sit down and talk about some different things in an environment that is not our house. So we could really step back and say, okay, let's look at the big picture rather than, being here and being solely focused on one or two things. It was good for us to step back and go to 30,000 feet and say, okay, what worked and what didn't, and what do we want to change next year? So always good to have those meetings. We really, really look forward to sharing more of this with you guys. This is also a great reminder to that, you know what? Sometimes you fail at things, and sometimes things work out really well. And all you can do is just hope and pray for the best and just try to wake up and be better tomorrow. We had a conversation tonight about how sometimes at work in the industry that we are a part of, we're both part of the food service industry, and how people that we work with don't always understand. And if you're a fellow homesteader, you know that this is definitely not for the faint of heart, and this is definitely humbling work that we do. I kind of got a little choked up because looking back over the year, just this past year, just since January 1st, 2020, there has been a lot of loss that we have seen and held and felt. And although we have seen and held and felt and been a part of all of that loss, we still get up tomorrow. We still get excited when we have new life on the farm. We still get excited when, we candle some eggs and see a little baby moving inside there. It is so worth it, but it is also so hard some days. Staying up until 3 a.m. hunting rats because they killed 50 chicks in one night. That is not something that we ever expected or imagined we would be doing, but it's a part of it. And, there are just as many good days as there are bad. But this is what we feel like we were called to do. And this is something that both of us are passionate about. And so we're going to work as a team and live this dream that we have. And that's all you can do is just keep dreaming and keep going for it and keep setting goals and crushing those goals and looking at what went well and looking what could have gone better. So with that, we hope you guys have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.